I do a do 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 a do along with Lolith do 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 Ohio a do. Welcome to another episode, even though it's the first episode of Lollin with Loloth. Do 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 do. I hope you can't hear my fan. I don't know if you can or not. Ohio. Oh no! It's supposed to be a smiley face. Okay. Today is August 2nd, 2018, and we're broadcasting on YouTube instead of Twitch today because today is the first episode of my new show, Lollin with Loloth. Let me get my timer started. I'm shooting for 1 hour episodes. Maybe every day? I don't know. We'll see. Basically open format. Talk about stuff in the news, video games, anime, whatever. Doesn't matter. Playing games, watching other people's videos. If you want to call in, have guests come in on Discord, it's up in the air. So we'll see what happens. Today, we're going to be talking about a couple new video games that are coming out, some movies that I've seen. I'm going to scour the news broadcasts. I really want to discuss this recent article I saw on IGN about parents paying for people to train their kids to play Fortnite, which blows my mind. And then I'm going to tell you all a story about something that happened to me, which is kind of horrifying, and we'll go from there. But the first thing I want to talk about is why I wanted to do this, and basically what it is, and I'll even write it on the board. Public access. Obviously, I haven't rehearsed this at all. But back in the day, on cable TV, if you had cable TV, there was this thing called public access TV. And basically, it's what you have nowadays with e-celebs, YouTube, internet personalities, and streaming, Twitch and stuff like that. The forerunner of that, in my opinion, was public access TV. Nowadays, at least in the United States, there's no broadcast television. It's all digital. But it used to be that if you had a TV, you could take a coat hanger or string paper clips together and connect them to the thing on the back of your TV, and you could pick up broadcast TV. That's why in old movies and stuff like Willy Wonka, they beam Mike TV through the air. They don't do that anymore, at least not in America, but they used to. And now it's all digital, and now it's all paid for and everything. But they used to actually have, just like they have radio broadcast towers in local cities everywhere. They had TV broadcast stations. And the thing is that you could go there and pay them money. You could, $100, $50, whatever it was, for an hour, for half an hour, and you would just sit there and put on your own TV show. And of course, nowadays you have Twitch, and you can go on there. You have YouTube. You can make your own videos. You have Twitch. You can stream games. You can make a video or do something funny like that. and lots of people are getting into it, and it's so heavily regulated. You can't do anything on there. There's so many rules. You have to watch what you say. If you say anything offensive or certain words, you get banned. I mean, imagine if, for example, this guy Ninja, who's the premier streamer on Twitch right now, pretty much, he gets like 75,000 viewers at a time. Imagine if he said nigger, you know, or if he said faggot or something. The world would explode. The universe would cease to exist. It's inconceivable, something like that. But public access TV, you paid to do it. You went there, you gave them $100, you rented the camera, and you sat there in the studio, and you broadcast yourself. You put out what you wanted to put out, and there were no rules. You could put nudity on there, you could swear, you could talk about whatever you wanted. Um, um, there was a show when I was growing up in Austin, Texas, and it was called like the Slave Hour or the Slave Show or something like that. And it was this guy who was he was in an S&M bondage kind of relationship, and he was the sub. And so he would come on with like a gimp mask on, with the zipper on his face, over his mouth and over his eyes, and people would call in and talk about the most bizarre, uh, insane, perverted things, like hey Gimp, or hey Slave, the other day I shoved a cactus up my asshole, and jacked off on a picture of the Queen of England or something, or hey Gimp, hey Slave, don't you love it when dogs shit in your mouth, and it was like he would be like, "Yeah, that's great. I love that. That's my favorite thing." Or he would be like, "No, that's disgusting. What the fuck is wrong with you?" Or people would call in and just say, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you," and that's what it was. It was great. It was hilarious. There was another show, and the guy just showed porn. I mean, the guy just had his studio set up, and he went in there and he said, "Hey guys, it's me." His name was Christian Side. Okay, and he would go in there and he would just show porn videos, or he would show videos of people like getting cut in half by a chainsaw or some horrible thing, or like somebody falling in front of a train or something. And it was just like every Friday at 9 o'clock at night, you tune in, Channel 5 or whatever it was, and here's some porn, here's a guy getting cut in half, here's Christian side, and then after that, here's the slave show. We're going to talk about eating your own shit for whatever amount of time. It was amazing. And the thing was, nowadays with Twitch, with YouTube and everything, and when it started, people were really doing it for the entertainment value, because they wanted to, because they liked the idea of it. They wanted to say something. They wanted to show the people what they had to offer. But since it's become so popular and so very easy, I mean, I can do it. I'm doing it right now, obviously. So many people can get into this, um, and because there is such potential to make money at it. You hear these stories of somebody streaming, and some millionaire comes along and just donates $50,000 to them out of the blue, or you go in there, you make enough videos, you get ad revenue, you can make that your job. And the appeal of that, playing video games, just talking to a camera and making money at it, there's so many people getting into this, and it's so heavily regulated that the greatness of what public access was is gone. It's gone, and it died, of course, when broadcast TV went away and it became all digital. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, we're never going to get back there. Uh, we're never going to have that again. Public access TV was the Wild West of entertainment, in my opinion. No rules, no regulations. Obviously, you can't go on there and start murdering babies or some horrible thing like that, but within reason. Um, we're never gonna get back there. We're never gonna have that again. But I loved it. And if you can seek it out, I'm sure that people must have videotaped some of it. There's got to be stuff online where you can find videos of some of these shows that people put out there. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So I want to try to capture that with this show, and it's going to be shaky at first, and it's going to be a learning process because I've never done this before. But that's my so-called mission statement. I want to recapture the beauty of public access. Okay, so that's why we're doing this. And one of the things about public access is that people would call in regularly. So today I'm not going to have any calls. Um, and you have people like Ghost or other shows online where, podcasts and stuff like that are similar. Um, that's the closest thing we have nowadays. Um, that's what I want to do. I want to have my own slice of that. So, okay. So, let's move on. Let's move on. And again, I apologize. This is the first time I'm doing this. This is going to be a little weird. There we go. This is what I want to talk about. Um, well, this first segment, and I'm shooting for 10 to 15 minutes per thing. Don't move it. Don't move it. I had it perfect. God damn it. Here we go. This section is called In This World. I'm gonna come up with a bunch of like splash screens and graphics and stuff. We'll do all that later. This is the inaugural episode, so things are gonna be in this world, right? In his world. How do I make it go away? There we go. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is this, and it's kind of the same thing that I was just talking about with the appeal of Twitch and YouTube, celeb culture, and all that. Excuse me. Parents are getting their kids Fortnite tutors, right? So if you're one of the very few people, if you're watching me right now, if you have the ability to access YouTube, you probably know what Fortnite is. You've probably played it. And if you haven't, you have the ability to. If you're able to watch me right now, you can play Fortnite for free, If you're watching this on your phone, you can play Fortnite. If you're watching this on your PC, obviously, if you're streaming this on your console, if you're watching this on your washing machine, if you're microwaving your burrito and you have the little thing on your microwave, you can play Fortnite on your fucking microwave. Um, it's a huge game. Uh, but if you're one of the few people that doesn't know what it is, that's fine because it's shit. And I wish I had no idea what it was too. Um, so back in the day in Nippon Ichi, this guy whose name I can't remember off the top of my head wrote a book, and it was called Battle Royale, and it was about kids in Japan, overpopulation, too many kids, people fucking way too much. We have to get rid of all these kids. So Beat Takeshi took all the high school kids, shipped them off to an island, gave them crossbows and maces and firecrackers and boomerangs with razor blades on them and stuff like that. And they all fought each other. And I think they made it into a TV show. I don't remember. Anyway, they made that into a movie, and it was called Battle Royale, and it was awesome for the first like hour and 20 minutes, and then it gets really weird. And then they wrote a bunch of books called The Hunger Games, which I think was similar. I don't know. I never read them. They made that into a bunch of movies with Jennifer Lawrence. Look at my hand when it does this. It's kind of cool. But they thought, what if we make this into a video game? And I think PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was either the first one to actually do it or definitely the first one to popularize it. And what this was let's take a big map or big level, a big area, and have 100 players go in, and they each can drop in, and we'll randomly populate it with weapons and armor and upgrades and stuff like that, and everybody fights everybody else. And if you die, that's it. You're done. You die, go back to the beginning, start over. And if you kill 99 other people, or if you survive through 99 other people getting killed, you win. And so it's basically like 1 versus 99, everybody fighting each other. Battle Royale, that's the game. A pretty interesting concept, a pretty cool idea for a game. Anyway, these guys, I think it's Epik that do it. I don't know. I haven't researched this at all. But they come along and they're making a tower defense PvE game, and they call it Fortnite. And Fortnite basically is a amount of time. I think it's 2 weeks or 15 days. Everybody's just closing their thing right now. I said, no, you idiot, it's not that long. I think it's 2 weeks. It's 14 days. I'm pretty sure. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But the fact that they named it Fortnite is important. I believe it was to do with how long you had to survive against these enemies. You would go around, gather resources, build up your defenses. You had you and your teammates doing this, and then you would fight enemies that were controlled by the computer. And they did this early access, so they hadn't finished the game yet, but you could buy it. You could pay to play it in a early state, which is pretty common nowadays. But then to attract people to it, to get people to play the game, they say, hey, we also have this PvP Battle Royale mode, okay? And that's free to play. So you can download this, and we're going to advertise to you, hey, play our PvE game, play Fortnite. That's the main game. That costs $15, $20, whatever it is. But to get you in the door, here's this Battle Royale mode. Well, it explodes and becomes the most popular video game of all time, right? And instead of saying, oh, great, well, hey, here's this PvE game, everybody, they say, fuck the PvE, fuck the name Fortnite, which is a unit of time you have to survive for, which is why the game is called that. Battle Royale, that's the game, that's the main game mode. And they go gangbusters all over it. Let's ride this train into the ground. So you can play it on your computer, you can play it on your console, you can play it on your phone, you can play it on your tablet, you can play it on your Apple iWatch or whatever the hell it's called. You can play it on your microwave. It's crazy, and they make it free to play, and they say if you want to, you can give us some money, and you can get these cosmetic items. You can level up, and you can be John Wick, or you can be a slutty teddy bear girl, and it explodes and it becomes this huge thing. And so I go and I start playing it, and the game is horrible. The game is terribly bad. First of all, if you have a game where someone on PC with mouse and keyboard is in the same game, the same instance with someone on their fucking tablet, swiping and that's ridiculous. Imagine a fighting game where I have a arcade stick and I'm playing against the same game, the same rules and everything. I'm playing against somebody on a tablet who's touching and swiping to do moves. I'm going to destroy them. There's no contest. There's no competition. The basic idea of the game itself, where you spawn in, you drop in, and then out of 100 people, it goes down to like 40 in the first minute. So 60 people every game, And there's so many, games at any one time going on. Each one of those games, 60 people die within the first few seconds of the game. Most people aren't even playing it. Most people aren't even having any fun whatsoever. It's not a good gameplay model. There's a lot of things wrong with it. Why is it so popular? Um, I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I finally decided what it is. In my opinion, what I think it is, it's comparable to when you were in school, or if you're still in school, and you're on the playground, and I mean like elementary school, early school, and you go to school and you have Mickey Mouse backpack. You have a Mickey Mouse backpack. You're a loser. Look at this kid. Mickey Mouse is lame. What the fuck? But if you have Ninja Turtles, shit, you know, if you have Ninja Turtles, you're the man. Okay, if you go to school and you have My Little Pony tennis shoes, get the fuck out. What the hell is this, My Little Pony? But if you have Rainbow Bright tennis shoes, oh, hell yeah, oh yeah, girl, you know, you're popular, you're cool now. That's what I think the appeal of Fortnite is. Let me explain. You watch the videos of these kids, and it's mostly kids, like little kids playing this game. You watch the videos of these kids playing this. I saw this one video in particular of this little boy, and he's bawling his eyes out. He's weeping. He's crying, and his brother is filming him, and he's saying, "Why are you so sad?" And he says, "I got killed by a no skin." Okay, so what that is, this is a free-to-play game. You can download it. You can download it right now if you're watching this. You can download it for free and play it. But you don't get anything for that except the base game. You have to use the basic character model and the default items. Um, However, if you pay money, if you give them 15 bucks or whatever, you get this season pass. And as you play more and more games, you can unlock cosmetic items. You can be a frog man, or you can be a cool special agent operator or whatever. It's literally the Ninja Turtle backpack versus the Mickey Mouse backpack. You don't have the skin backpack. You don't have the you have the basic backpack. You're a fucking loser. Who the hell are you? You know, you go to school. Hey, Jimmy doesn't have a skin on Fortnite. What a dork, right? But then Mark, on the other hand, Mark has, the lunchbox with the dog on a spring coming out of it, or whatever the fuck it is. He's got the toilet seat and the guy's taking a shit coming out of it. That's awesome. That guy's cool. Mark is cool. He gave the company money for no reason, right? That's the appeal of it. He doesn't have the Mickey Mouse backpack. He has the Ninja Turtles backpack. Um, and anyway, this kid's bawling his eyes out because he got killed by a no skin. The game is bad. Um, Anyone who actually really likes video games, for the most part, I'm not trying to say that if you like video games, you can't like Fortnite. A lot of people like it, but I think for the most part, the people playing it don't really like video games in the traditional sense. And it's not about the game itself, because ultimately it isn't very good, and there's much better options out there. Realm Royale was one that was pretty cool, and I watched a lot of people play that, and I thought, now that's a good idea. That's taking that concept of a battle royale and making a good game around it. Totally accurate battlegrounds, I think is what it was called. That's another one where let's take this concept of battle royale, everybody in one big map together, and make it a good game. But those games don't become anywhere near as popular as Fortnite. Um, and I think it's just a popularity thing. It's a schoolyard Mickey Mouse versus Ninja Turtles sort of a thing. Polly Pocket versus My Little Pony versus um, Rainbow Bright. Um, Losing my train of thought. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted because there's somebody outside my window right now. It's unbelievably irritating. If you look at Twitch right now, I think it supports my theory of this. It's by far the most popular game on there. Uh, the other day I was looking at it. You can see the most popular games, the number of viewers. Fortnite had 250,000, 250,000 people watching. The next most popular game, League of Legends, was at like 74,000. Okay, so that's like almost a third of the number of viewers. I click on Fortnite. The top streamer is this guy Ninja. Um, Ninja himself, one guy, had 75,000 viewers, and what he was doing was, and no fault to him because I'd be doing exactly the same thing, but he was sitting there eating fruit roll-ups. He's sitting there and he's eating fruit roll-ups, and fruit roll-ups are delicious, but that's what he was doing. He was watching somebody else play the game. I guess he had died and he was spectating one of his teammates. And 75,000 other people were watching that. What that means is that this one guy sitting there eating fruit roll-ups has more viewers than every single other person playing League of Legends combined. 74,000 people are watching League of Legends. However many thousand different individual streamers are playing League of Legends, and all their different viewers combined into one number is like 1,000 people less than are watching Ninja himself, one guy eating fruit roll-ups, not even playing the game. Um, why is that? Well, it took me a while, but again, going back to the playground with the Ninja Turtle backpack. Um, when I was that age, if I could have been on Double Dare or something, if I could have been on Nickelodeon for a second, if I had been in the audience and the camera pans over the audience and you see me for 1 second, I would have been the most popular person in the world, in my frame of reference. Hey everybody, look at me. I was on Double Dare. I was on Wild and Crazy Kids. I was in the audience for 1 second. This is the modern equivalent, in my opinion. You go on there, just paying Ninja $25 a month so that you could talk in his chat and use an emote. Just the chance that maybe one time Ninja looks at his chat and goes, "Oh hey, Sephiroth X Cloud 25, cool emote, dude." You know, that's yours forever. You get to go to your friends and say, "Dude, watch this," and show them the clip, and Ninja noticed me. That's the appeal of it. Imagine if you met Michael Jordan or something. Imagine if Michael Jordan came to your school and played a pickup basketball game with you. That's the thing. This is my childhood growing up. I would have, if I met Michael Jordan, that would have been blown my mind. If I could have gone on stage for a second, or given a high five to MC Hammer or Michael Jackson or New Kids on the Block or something, that would have been a life-changing experience. And this is the modern day equivalent. Kids are willing to spend so much money on this game for social status, spend time watching a guy literally just sit there and eat fruit roll-ups for the off chance that maybe, just maybe, they get recognized by this internet celebrity. Do I necessarily think it's bad? No, it's It's just the iteration, the next iteration of the same concept that I was talking about. The backpack on the schoolyard, the high five with MC Hammer, the 1 second of time on Nickelodeon. Um, it's the same basic idea. It's not a bad thing. I used to get really angry about it because I thought now all these other developers are gonna try to copy this, and they did for a while, and they probably still will continue to do that. And you're going to get the Fortnite clones, like you always do with big games. Doom clones. This is the next Halo killer. You know, this is of course they're not really calling it a Fortnite clone now. It's just another battle royale, but everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody knows who they're trying to beat. The thing is, I don't think they're ever going to, because it's not about the game itself. With Halo, it's about the game. With Doom, it was about the game. With Fortnite, it isn't the game itself. People complain on there. They complain about weapon spread. They say, when I'm holding down the fire button on an auto fire weapon, the bullet spread increases. That shouldn't happen. This is common in every video game ever made where you shoot at other players. Of course, if you're holding down the button on an auto fire weapon, there's going to be bullet spread and it's going to increase. Of course that's going to happen. This is normal for video games. The majority of people playing Fortnite don't know that, and they don't care about that. They don't like it. It's not about the game itself. It's about the social aspect of it. It's about the potential for internet fame, for being noticed. That's my theory. That's my opinion. You can make as many Fortnite clones as you want. You're never going to capitalize on it. You're never going to beat it because it's the phenomenon of this particular thing. It's the maelstrom surrounding the eye of the storm. No pun intended. It's the fervor surrounding this one particular thing. You're not going to jump in on it. All you can do is hope to weather the storm, I guess. But getting back to the topic at hand, parents are getting their kids Fortnite Hooters. Fuck you. Stop doing it. That's ridiculous. All right. Moving on. Moving on. Next up on the show. All right, where are we at? Half hour? I wanted to just look at news articles and react to them for a minute. Apple becomes first $1 trillion company. $1 trillion. Well, that's fucking nuts. Trump does some stuff. I think maybe tomorrow I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna skip the news now. I'm gonna move on to video games. They were just talking about Fortnite. That was in the news. I think tomorrow. I don't want to do the AP thing right now because we're running out of time. But tomorrow's subject for the news is going to be this idea of such a divide between people with social media, and you're either with Trump or against him. You're on the left or you're on the right, and how extreme and ridiculous that's getting. With people like James Gunn getting fired for his Twitter comments, and Roseanne getting fired for her Twitter comments, and how that's becoming like a, point of contention among people politically. That's for tomorrow, though. Let's do that tomorrow. Okay, so what's next? Oh yeah. This is a section I'm gonna call stuff that I gotta get some title cards. Is epic. I know epic is spelled with a C, and I don't care. Stuff that is epic. Okay. There's 4 things that I wanted to talk about right now, but let's see if I can kill 15 minutes and get all four of them out of the way. So we'll do rapid fire. We'll do it fast. The first one is I wanted to do a movie review, and the movie is probably the most popular movie right now. A lot of people are talking about it. Mission Impossible Fallout. Um, Tom Cruise is the man. I don't care what you think about him in his private life or in his public life. The whole Scientology thing, Katie Holmes and all that controversy, jumping on the couch on Oprah, whatever it is. Who cares, man? Mission Impossible Fallout is the bomb. The dude knows how to make an action movie. Okay? Um, I saw the first one when it came out back in 96. 1996, okay? Um, that was 22 years ago. Oh my god. It was 22 years. Uh, so I saw Mission Impossible. Is that right? 96 and then 22 and then 8 and then 90 and then I don't know. I'm not very good at math. Let's just I hope I'm right. I probably am. Ah, fuck. Hold on. 18. Wait, 96 plus would be 8 and then 90 and then 06 and then 18. Yeah. I'm an idiot. Anyway, I didn't see Mission Impossible 2. I don't think I saw Mission Impossible 3. The guy takes this idea and he makes this huge franchise out of it. And he does his own stunts, and that's the idea behind it. And he didn't originally. Like in Mission Impossible 1, it's green screen and stunt guys and shit like that. I don't know which one he started doing his own stunts. Apparently in the first one he did a few of his own stunts. Cut to this one, Fallout, which is number 6. It's crazy. If you haven't seen it, you have to go see it. And like I said, I haven't really seen the ones before it. As soon as I got done watching 6 in the theater, I like go home and I rent 5 and I watch it. I'm probably gonna watch 4 pretty soon. I don't know why I'm watching them in reverse order. It doesn't matter. You don't need to. It'll make it better. You'll probably get more experience out of the story and the characters and stuff if you've seen 5 or 4. Probably if you've seen 1 through 5, 6 will be amazing. I go into it completely ignorant of any of the plot before it, any of the characters. Doesn't matter. Tom Cruise does a fucking halo jump. Okay? If you ever played Metal Gear Solid 3, at the beginning he does the halo jump, high altitude, low opening, I think is what it stands for. You go up really fucking high, you jump down, and you open your parachute really low so that you don't get seen on radar. He actually did one, and they filmed it. It's crazy. It's one continuous shot of him jumping out of this fucking plane and going the whole way. And that's the beginning of the movie. It gets better from there. Um, he jumps like from one building to another building. He's like on a motorcycle and he's in a subway. Like he goes not at the restaurant, but like the trains and shit. He goes down the London Underground. No, they're in Paris. He goes down into the Paris like sub on a motorcycle, and it's fucking Tom Cruise doing it. Like the appeal of that, if it's a stunt guy, obviously it's somebody actually doing it, so it's still pretty cool to watch. You see a movie like Die Hard, one of the best action movies ever, and all these explosions, and the guy's doing the wire, and he's going along, and he's on the side of the building and everything. It's really cool, but this is fake. This is a movie. The appeal of seeing Tom Cruise actually do these stunts, and this one, Henry Cavill and Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg and everybody, they're doing their own shit. Um, it makes it that much better, and that much more exciting. In 5, he's got all this stuff like in 5, the opening scene of 5 is he's actually holding onto an airplane as it's taking off. The airplane's taking off, and he's holding onto it, and it takes off, and he's in the air. I'm geeking out. It's so cool. It's so cool. But 6, Mission Impossible Fallout, blows them all away, in my opinion. The climactic scene with the helicopter chase. He jumps and he grabs a rope on a helicopter that's taking off. He climbs up the fucking rope, and then he falls, and he grabs this bag of cargo, and he climbs back up the rope, And he climbs up the side of the helicopter in flight, throws the guys out of the helicopter, and the helicopter's about to crash, and he pulls it back up. And he actually does this shit, you know? Tom Cruise is the man. He nails it. It's one of the best action movies I've seen ever. Okay? It's better than fucking Die Hard. It's better than Die Hard. Uh, go see it. Go see it. It's amazing. Okay. Next subject. Spider-Man PS4. It was announced today. I'm getting a lot of yeah in my mouth. I don't usually talk this much. Spider-Man PS4 has been revealed to have Ubisoft towers. What are Ubisoft towers? Well, in an open world game, you have like Assassin's Creed, this big map. You go to your map screen, you can't see any of it, it's all veiled with fog. What do I do? How do I see the map? You have to climb up a tower somewhere in the world. Excuse me. Get to the top of it, and in Assassin's Creed, you know, your eagle goes and flies around. In Horizon Zero Dawn, you hack the long neck, big giraffe brontosaurus thing, apatosaurus thing, and it reveals a section of the map, and it shows you all the unique things that you can go do. Breath of the Wild with Zelda did it, but it did it in a very unique and fun way where getting to the tower is quite the challenge. Climbing up the tower is also very difficult, and it does reveal the map to you, but then from there you have to actually look and see all the different things you want to go. It doesn't reveal them on the map to you, you actually look and see them. Anyway, it's a cool idea, but the point is that uh, this is a cliche now. This is like a trope or kind of a staple of open world games that isn't very popular. A lot of people complain about it, and it's called an Ubisoft Tower because with the Far Cry series and with the Assassin's Creed series, they've kind of made it the standard for doing that. And it's not in every game. For the Grand Theft Auto games, for example, don't do it. Red Dead Redemption doesn't really do it. Um, but Infamous, what is the studio? It's Insomniac. They did it in the Infamous games, and it's not a popular aspect of gameplay. A lot of people don't like it. I personally don't like it. It feels like a chore to me. It's like, oh, okay, I've done this one, and I climbed the tower, and I've unveiled this section of the map, and I can see all the little mini games and side quests I can do, and I know there's like 6 more that I can go do, and each one kind of feels the same and like cookie cutter, copy paste sort of thing. And I liked the way Horizon Zero Dawn did it in a way. They kind of did a unique take on it because it's a moving thing. It's an actual creature in the level. That's kind of cool. It's they did it in a fun way, but I still think they could have improved on that. I prefer it in games that don't have it. Breath of the Wild does it in a very unique way where it's still kind of frustrating and annoying, but probably the best way that you can do that in a game, and hopefully maybe you can even improve on it more or just not have it at all. Anyway, today it was revealed that Spider-Man PS4, a game really looking forward to, probably going to be a really cool game, does have those towers. And apparently when you climb to the top of them, um, you do a mini game where you waggle your control sticks around to do like a hack of some kind of satellite or something, similar to Batman Arkham games where you do the decryptor, and that unveils the section of the map. And it's disappointing. I was really looking forward to Spider-Man. I'm still gonna get it. I'm still gonna play it because I'm sure it's gonna be great. I wish that they had figured something else out, and I'm hopeful that maybe this is just a case of negative negative hype. I can't think of another way to describe it. Before something comes out, an idea uh, of this is going to be bad. Oh no, it's revealed that uh, Smash Brothers has paid online. Oh, it's gonna be shit, But then the game comes out, it's not really that bad. Maybe Spider-Man with these Ubisoft towers won't be so horrible. I hope not. I really hope it's good. I'm still gonna play it, and it is Spider-Man, so it's not like you have to climb the tower. You can just run up the side of it probably, or web swing up to the top of it. So it probably won't take very long. But potential bad news, potential bad news for Spider-Man PS4. Let's hope they pull it off. Let's hope they pull it off. Looks like I got 15 minutes left. God, I put way too much stuff in here. If we're gonna do an hour, this is never gonna work. I'm gonna skip like the next 3 things, and let's move on. Let's move on to the next section, which is called Looking at Loloth. Looking at Loloth. Okay, so in this part of the show, I'm going to talk about myself. Um, talk about things that I want to do, things that I'm doing currently, and really it's a way that I can tell stories from my past, because something about me is that I don't fit in anywhere. Um, I usually don't do the things that people want me to do, and I hate working. And because of that, I never, uh, or I always find myself in these situations which are pretty ridiculous, and I have a lot of weird stories from that. So today, what I want to talk about is drugs. Um, and just recently, um, and this whole section of time is gone from my brain. It's completely gone, and I don't remember any of it. But I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something like that. It was pretty much the entire month of July is a blur to me because of this stuff called synthetic marijuana. And I started smoking marijuana when I was in 10th grade, and it's great. If alcohol is legal, if cigarettes are legal, if caffeine is legal, marijuana should be legal. That's my opinion. Um, yes, it can be abused. Yes, you can become addicted to it. Yes, it can make you do really stupid things. Yes, it can lead to other, even worse substances. Um, Same with alcohol, same with cigarettes, same with soda, same with sugar, same with cheeseburgers. In my opinion, and I don't want to argue about it, we can have a debate some other time. Marijuana is fine. It's fine, but it's illegal in a lot of the world, and where I live, it's illegal, and it's hard for me to get. And because of that, um, sometimes I have to find substitutes. And for long stretches of time, I'll be sober, and I'm happy with being sober and everything like that. But I do suffer from occasional bouts of depression, and when I get into those states of mind, I want to take my mind off of it. And abusing alcohol is really bad for you, and I can't find marijuana. And it's easy to go online and find these websites that sell this stuff, and they don't sell it as smokable drugs. They sell it as potpourri, or they sell it as novelty items or incense or something like that, not for human consumption. And it's just plant material that's perfectly harmless, and you can smoke it, and it's fine. But what they do is they spray it or they soak it in a chemical that's been manufactured in a lab to have a similar effects to cannabis, cannabinoids, dopamine receptor inhibitor blockers. I don't know how it works, no idea how it works. But when you smoke this stuff, it feels like you smoke some really powerful weed. And it lasts for about half an hour to an hour, and then it goes away, and then you want to smoke more to get that effect back. The problem is the active effects have stopped. So the feeling of the drug has gone away. The drug is still in your system. It's still working on you. It's still affecting your brain chemistry, your body chemistry. You just don't notice it anymore. You don't realize it. You do more to get that high back. You've doubled the amount of this garbage that's pumping through your veins. And what ends up happening is that you overdose on it easily overdose on it. Ugh. It's hard to stare at a light for so long. Anyway, so I've done this a few times in the past, and it's really stupid. And then I stopped for a while, and I'm not going to do it again. You know, who knows how long that's going to last. But the month of July is kind of a blur to me, and I don't really remember. And I did a bunch of stupid stuff. The police that got involved. I don't want to talk about it right now. What I do want to talk about, and we only got 10 minutes left. Wow. Is this story that when I was about 25, I want to say, and I had been homeless for a time, living in my car. I had a roommate, and he had moved out to be with his girlfriend in another apartment, and I found a new apartment in student housing. This is in Austin, Texas, on campus, on the UT campus. I was 25, so I'm living with a bunch of like 18, 19-year-old kids in this apartment where you pay for the room, and the rent was like $250 a month. But it was a 4-bedroom apartment, and they paid for your rent and utilities and everything. It was student housing. It was great. I couldn't afford $250 a month for my rent. I was stealing food to eat. I spent the last of my money on rent for 1 month, and I was going to get evicted the next month. I had a car at the time. I gave my roommate, whose name was Jay, the letter J, he was a weed dealer. He was a really cool guy, but he played rap music really fucking loud all the time. It was unbelievably irritating. But I gave him my bed. I gave him a lot of my furniture because I couldn't take it with me. And I took my clothes and anything I could carry in like this tote bag that I had. I had this little laundry basket, and I put everything in this laundry basket, put it in the trunk of my car, moved into my car, bummed around Austin for like a month. It was awful, using public restrooms and stuff like that. Couldn't take showers, shoplifting to eat. Um, I started breaking into people's houses and stealing painkillers to get high off of. It's really bad time in my life. Eventually, my dad said, "Look, move back in with us. This is crazy." So I moved back in with my dad. I got a job as a security guard at Walmart. Really low point in my life, miserable every day. What a great story, right? But I bought some synthetic weed online with my first paycheck from the security guard job, and started smoking it. And one of the rules, my dad knew that I was a drug addict, and he said, "Look, you can live here. We'll help you. You know, you can have your job. You can save up some money. You don't have to pay rent. We'll feed you and clothe you and everything. Save up your money so you can move out." Sure, no problem. And I just spent all my money on video games and synthetic weed. But I actually bought this computer I'm using right now with that money. An interesting side note. But I buy this bag of synthetic marijuana. I start smoking it at nighttime when they're asleep. It was a security guard job at night. They both, my dad and my stepmom, had jobs during the day, so they didn't. I worked at night, so I was asleep during the day. Um, they were asleep during the nighttime. I was awake during the nighttime. I could smoke. They were asleep. I could get away with it when I didn't have to work. The problem with the synthetic weed like I was saying before, you smoke some of it, you get high, you feel good. That feeling goes away, you go smoke more. The drug is still in your system. So you do more and more of it, it gets too much for you to handle, you overdose. And part of the thing about overdosing on this garbage is that you forget that you've done it. And so I go downstairs, I go out to the front porch, I have my little pipe. You can take like one hit of it and you're gone. So I take one hit of it and this is after, several hours of doing this that particular evening. I take one hit of it, I take another hit of it. I'm standing outside. It's like 2 in the morning, like 3 in the morning. Specifically, it was 3 in the morning. That's important. The moon is up. I'm looking at this dark street with all these houses. Everything's turning purple and black and weird. I'm getting really fucked up, really fucking high. I take another hit of it. I've done way too much at this point. I go inside, quietly lock the door. I'm sober enough. I'm in my right mind enough to know that your parents are awake, they're up asleep. Be quiet. Quietly lock the door. Start to head up to the stairs. It kicks in. I forget that I'm on drugs. I completely forget that I'm on drugs. Why am I downstairs? Oh, I was gonna go smoke. That's right. Well, I'm gonna go get something to eat. So I wander into the kitchen. At this point, if you've ever seen a slideshow, if you've ever seen one of those, damn, what are they called with the the little viewer with the card that rotates? I can't think of the name of it right now at the top of my head. Or if you've ever seen a slide projector where it shows you an image, then it shows you the next image. That's how the world became to me. So as I'm walking through the kitchen, I just see stills. Here's the refrigerator. Here's the table. Here's the living room. Here's the kitchen sink. Here's the center island in the kitchen. Here's the stove. Here's the refrigerator again. Here's the kitchen table. Snapshots of this. Okay? Not actual not a fluid transition between one thing and the next thing like I'm moving. I'm just seeing snapshots and I'm walking around the center island in the kitchen seeing this. Everything is tilting and turning in the still images. So if you're looking at a photograph, but everything in the photograph is still, it's a still image, but everything is kind of moving. Imagine that. That's what I'm seeing. So I'm looking at the refrigerator, and there's like photos of people in our family and stuff, and like, business cards from like the realtor, and like my stepmom has like some motivational thing pinned on there, and bless this mess or whatever. And all those little things are moving and waving, but everything is still at the same time. And then I look at the kitchen table, and there's the salt shaker and the pepper and the placemats and the chairs and everything. Everything is moving back and forth, perfectly still at the same time. And I'm just going around in this circle, and I start to hear this voice in my head. And this voice, and later I realize that it's me talking out loud to myself, but I hear this voice, and it's saying, everything's fine, everything's fine, go back to normal, everything's okay. And I realize that this is the voice of the universe. This is the voice of God. It's me talking to myself, but I'm hearing it as the voice of God, as the universe. And he's telling me, everything's fine, don't worry about it. And I realize, and remember, I don't remember that I'm on drugs at this point. I've forgotten that I'm on way too much drugs. I realize that the universe is telling not just me, but everybody in the world, every sentient life form, not just people, but lizards and fish and Tyrannosaurus rexes and giraffes and dolphins and bacteriums, everything. God is telling everybody, it's fine, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. No, don't, you know. And I go, oh my God, the fucking universe is coming to an end. The world is ending. This is the framework of reality is breaking down. So we no longer have um, consistent passage of time. We're seeing segments of it. Things are breaking down. The reality of things are shifting and turning and breaking down in on themselves. And God is trying to combat this. He's trying to fix it by saying, don't worry about it. Seriously, don't worry about it. And I think to myself, why is he saying, don't worry about it? Don't worry about it. And I realize it's because our thought is what's keeping it real. It's like money, you know, money doesn't have any inherent actual value. It's just paper. But because everybody says this is the most valuable thing, we all have to believe in this. We all have to just everybody gets behind it, and that's what makes the world go round because we all agree that money has value, right? It's not backed up by anything. It's not backed up by gold or precious metal. It's not backed up by anything, but it's our assertion that it's real. It's just we all agree that money has worth. It's the same thing. That's an hour, so I'll stop after I finish the story. But um, our belief that the universe exists is what makes it exist. If we stop believing in that, it'll go away. And that's what's happened. People have stopped believing that the world exists. Okay? So God is telling everybody, no, it's fine, it's fine. Seriously, go back to believing in it. And I'm the only one that's like conscious of this, but everybody is like freaking out, and I can like psychically feel the minds of everybody, and they're freaking the fuck out, right? And then I hear the voice of my old childhood friend from high school, and he says, hey man, it's up to you. What do you mean it's up to me? It's up to you. You have to convince everybody in the world that this is real, that the universe is real. Do it. You have like 5 minutes. Um, I'm like, oh shit, you know. Anyway, it's 3 o'clock. Time is passing. It's now 3:14. I have this personal, real strong belief in the number 14. Okay, so I look at the clock and I see that it's 3:14 a.m. and I go, this is a sign that this is actually happening. You know, this isn't just in my head. I'm not going into some kind of schizophrenic breakdown from reality. This is real. It's 3:14. That's a sign from the universe. Okay? So I have to explain to every living being that exists why they should continue to believe in existence. And it's 3 in the morning and my parents are upstairs asleep, and I'm basically rambling, damn near screaming to myself out loud. But what do you mean? No, the world is coming to an end. What do you mean, God? What do you want? What do you want, Joel? That's the guy's name, Joel, from my friend in high school. I can't. Why do I have to explain why the world exists? You know, out loud to myself. No, you have to do it. I don't want to do it. No, you have to do it. 3 in the morning, walking around the kitchen, going in circles like this. Anyway, the good thing about this drug is that the active effects wear off after about half an hour. So, terrified out of my mind, wandering around the kitchen doing this, eventually it's gonna wear off. It happens to coincide exactly when I come up with the solution to the problem. If you've ever seen water and you throw a pebble into the water, there's a ripple. The ripple comes out from the water where the pebble hit the surface of the water. Think of that ripple, think of that pebble hitting the water as a molecule in your brain and another molecule in your brain, chemicals having a reaction. So you have a thought in your mind, and that chemical reaction causes that ripple. But this is a fourth dimensional ripple, a fifth dimensional ripple, and it goes out every single time in your head that one of those chemical reactions occurs, each molecule interacting with another molecule, there's a ripple. And these ripples go out fifth dimensionally, sixth dimensionally, seventh dimensionally, whatever it is. And they go out and they affect other things. So imagine if you have two pebbles hit the water at the same time. The ripple goes out, the ripple hits itself, another ripple forms. So if you've ever seen rain on water and all the little ripples that go out and hit each other and spread out from the points of contact, that's our thoughts. These chemical reactions send out these fifth dimensional ripples. Excuse me. And these fifth dimensional ripples ripple and more ripples, and it's not on a flat surface, it's on a like a sphere, which is a sphere in and of itself multiplied multiple times. So all these ripples are hitting each other and causing effects in other realities that we don't know about. So it's all cause and effect. So this is the theory that I come up with to explain why this reality has to keep believing in itself. Our thoughts are the fundamental force, driving force, that allows another reality, another sentient being, another creature in a universe that we have no concept of. It allows the creature to be able to breathe and process oxygen. So it's not actually breathing, it's not actually oxygen, it's some alien life form, some completely unknown thing that's comparable to our breath. We breathe and oxygen is distributed throughout our body with blood, and that oxygen is what keeps us alive. It cleans our system out, and it fuels our muscles, right? That chemical process is comparable to this thing that keeps the alien life form alive. So our thoughts, every thought that we have in believing in reality, the chemical process of thinking causes these ripples that fifth dimensionally go out and branch out and create the essential, absolute, natural, fundamental fact of existence for another alien life form in another reality that allows it to be able to do its form of breathing. And so, because of that, we have to keep believing in reality so that this other thing can exist, because this other thing, in its own way, is doing that for something else. And everything is tied together, and everything has to be that way because, and if our piece of it goes away, it's like pulling the brick out of the foundation, the whole building collapses. That's the explanation I come up with. And I say that out loud at 3:14 in the morning to my kitchen, to my parents' kitchen, wandering around in a circle. No, yeah, you have to think because it's making an alien be able to breathe, and if you don't breathe, and it's taken me this long. The drug is worn off, everything comes back to normal, the refrigerator stops moving, I can see the passage of time again, the voice goes away because I'm not talking to myself anymore, and I realize I just smoked way too much fucking drugs. That was insane. And I go upstairs and I go to sleep, but that was one experience out of many that I've had on synthetic weed. Don't do synthetic marijuana. If you take anything from that story, don't fucking do it. Just stop. Because I was in the safety of my parents' house and they were asleep and they didn't wake up. They didn't come downstairs. If they had come downstairs, I'm in the fucking hospital. No question. If I had been out with friends, I'm in prison. Or I'm dead. Do not don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. That's the story. That's the story. Anyway, don't do. So, um, I had to skip a bunch of stuff. I was going to talk about the news. I was going to talk about game ideas. I had a new game on PS4 called Chasm that I want to try out. I was going to react to some YouTube videos and stuff like that. But it's already been almost an hour and 10 minutes since we started. I think that was a pretty good episode. We're going to call it there. Um, August 2nd, 2018. Lollin with Loloth. Inaugural episode is over. Thank you very much for watching. Let's see. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk about the left versus the right in politics and social media and how that all affects everything. I think I will talk about that game Chasm, and maybe another movie review, and maybe I'll tell you all a story about when I was driving trucks, doing truck driving. But until then, probably about the same time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, I'll shoot for that. Tomorrow, August 3rd. Until then, thank you for watching. Comment below if you want to, subscribe, doesn't matter. Just doing this for the entertainment. That's the point. Public access. The dream is alive and well. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Lollin with Loloth. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Along with Lollin. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Along with Lollin. Okay, bye bye.